This is the Louie T Network.
In the L.A.B room.
Exclusive.
Oh man, welcome. You are in the lab room. I'm your host Lou. Thank you for joining me here on this program. It's that time again. Preseason has arrived. Week 1 in the books. We're moving on to week number 2. But before we can take that leap to the second week of the preseason, we've got to take a look back at preseason week number 1. And what better way to take a look back than to do some pats, daps, and smacks. And so, who better to start with than the people that did a okay job? You don't want to just jump in and start smacking folks, man. That's disrespectful. And look, the hand is hot. It's hot. And I'm ready. But let's start patting some folks on the back first, man. Come on, guys. Y'all chill out now. Let's start with a few guys that went out, played some good football, put themselves on the map. And we start out with the Oakland Raiders. And a guy that Raiders fans have been waiting for a while now. Last year was a rookie, never saw the field. And so to see Latavius Murray come out, have a solid performance. He didn't do anything earth-shattering, but to hear about all the athleticism, the size, and the complete package all year last year, to finally see it on the field come to fruition, had to be very refreshing for Raiders fans to see Latavius Murray come out, catch the football, show some athleticism, show a little bit of burst and speed. Thought he handled himself well in his first ever NFL action. Latavius Murray gets a pat on the back for his performance against the Minnesota Vikings in week 1 of the preseason. Another pat on the back, and I've got my big board behind me for a little bit of assistance here. And just in case you slicksters wanted to look back here and see who I was going to be smacking around later, I put up a nice little code for you to decipher. Some of you might try to figure it out. Maybe some of you will. But I don't expect you to be able to crack my code. So we move on to Michael Vick. And that's my guy. I'm a big Michael Vick fan. I love Mike. Mike is from this area, so it's always love. We support him around here. And it's funny seeing Mike in that number 1 jersey. I really like to smack Geno Smith for not giving up number 7. But look, that's a totally different case for another day. We're not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about Michael's performance in preseason game number 1 versus the Indianapolis Colts. One drive of work, and he went out, scrambled around, completed some passes, took this Jets offense. And look, kudos to Rex Ryan for leaving the first team offensive line on the field to protect Michael, allow him to run around, make some things happen, find the open receivers, dump it down, took this team down the field, capped it off with a Chris Johnson rushing touchdown. A nice, beautifully executed drive by Michael Vick. Now, again, probably not going to start in New York, but that's a great way to start off your career as a New York Jet. Michael Vick, pat on the back, my man. Pat on the back. You look at another guy that deserves a pat on the back. Dre Archer. You know I love me some Dre Archer. And to watch Dre Archer take a small pass against the New York Giants and weave his way in and out of traffic, use the speed to get up the field for about 40-something yards. That's explosiveness. That's what I'm talking about, Dre. That's what this Steelers offense needs. They already got a guy that is extremely explosive in Antonio Brown out there. They could use some speed and some athleticism and an infusion of youth in that backfield. They had Le'Veon Bell back there last year infusing that youth. Now you get some more speed back there. Speed! Can't teach it. Either you got it or you don't. Dre Archer has it, and he flashed just a bit of it in preseason week number 1 against the New York Giants. That was a big play. Looking for more of them from Dre Archer. Go ahead. Pat yourself on the back, man. Go ahead and do that. And I got an honorable mention for a pat on the back. My old good friend DeMarcus Ware. We've had some battles over the years, you being an ex-Cowboy and all, but you look damn good in that orange, my man. And not only did you hurry Russell Wilson in preseason week number 1 as the NFL did a huge solid for everyone and put the Seahawks and the Broncos against each other. Again, it's week 1 of the preseason. Nobody cares. However, they did it just for kicks and giggles. And so not only did you chase down Russell Wilson on a bootleg and force him to throw the football away, they did throw a flag on that play, but it doesn't matter. You showed that you still can run and chase a guy that is highly athletic in this league, and you hawked him down. So not only did you do that, but you made a beautiful play on a sack where he tried to escape the pocket. You spin, you go, you chase, you run, and you bring him down onto the ground. That was gorgeous. That lets me know, and I tried to tell people that you weren't washed up, that you still had a lot left to offer. You were banged up last year, and now everybody's going to see it. You're going to do big things in Denver, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. DeMarcus Ware, go ahead. Pat yourself on the back, my man. Go ahead and pat yourself on the back. So we move from there to Daps. Let me dap some cats up, man, for their performances in week number 1. We start with my man Blake B. What did I tell you about this young man? And people started calling me out about talking about the poise and the moxie, and I said that it was Joe Montana-esque. I said it was Joe Cool-esque. And what did he do in his first preseason game? He came out and stroked the football against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And man, was it pretty. He came out there 7 of 11, over 100 yards, took his team down the field. And if not for some drop passes, they get in the end zone. He should have been 10 of 11. It was 3 drop passes in the football game. Blake Bortles looked like the man. It's a shame he probably won't see the field this year, but maybe it's for the best. Either way, Blake B went out and blazed them boys in Tampa Bay. And so, give me some love, Blake. That's what I'm talking about. You look like the best quarterback in the draft thus far. And again, I already said, when it's all said and done, you're going to be the best out of this draft class. And you did not disappoint. That's what I'm talking about, Blake. You move on to send Derek Marks. Because I'm going to talk to these Jaguars for a second, because they went out and they put the smack down on those Tampa Bay Buccaneers and send Derek Marks. Man, did he make a mark in that game or what? That Buccaneers offensive line was terrible. And the reason they were terrible because of performances like the one from my man, Derek Marks. I said, man, Derek is out there eating. And you know how guys, they eat? No, they want to eat up now, right? Guys want to eat up. Well, he didn't just eat the Buccaneers offensive lineup. He devoured them. I said, what you out there eating, young man? He said, you know what I'm eating? I'm eating Buccos for breakfast over here. Give me some more. Yum, yum, eat them up. Yum, yum, eat them up. Derek Marks was out there looking like a Hall of Famer against that garbage offensive line. Derek, you get some love, my man, for that performance in preseason week number 1 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive line. You go on to Brandon Cooks. I tried to warn some of y'all out there. And I said, hey, y'all go ahead and line up, make a nice, neat line. Hey, stop fighting. Get in line, okay? Line up, and each and every team in the NFC South, excluding the New Orleans Saints, of course, everybody line up, and I told Carolina, you get the honor of getting in the front of the line because you won the division last year, and then behind them needs to be the Falcons, and behind them, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Go ahead, make a nice, neat line, and everybody get your hand ready, get your pimp hand strong, and you go ahead and just one time, because we're not making a habit of creating a violent environment here, okay? That's not what I do. I don't like to promote violence. I'm a peaceful man. But in this case, because the Cardinals allowed the Saints to get their hands on a dangerous weapon like Brandon Cooks, look, they don't need any more help on that offense. Because the Cardinals allowed this to happen, go ahead and smack the Cardinals one time. I tried to warn you. You didn't want to listen. It's preseason week number 1. And keep this in mind. Everything that I'm about to say, everything that I've already said, it's preseason week number 1. Take it with a grain of salt, okay? Relax, people. Relax. It's just preseason week number 1. That's it. But still, give me some Brandon Cook. That was beautiful. That's the way you come out and show these boys and make a statement in preseason week number 1. I'm here, and I'm ready to wreck some stuff. And the bad part was, that wasn't even Drew Brees, my man. That wasn't even Drew Brees. That was some McCown love. So I'm going to give you an extra dap for that. You look real good. You look real good, Brandon. Way to cook them, boys. Way to cook them. You go on to D'Anthony Thomas. The Black Mamba is here. Everybody run for cover. First ever touch in the NFL. Crimp on a punt return. And it was magnificent. It was magnificent. He saw it coming. He saw the defender coming. Did he call for a fair catch? No. And you know, that's when you got a special one on your hands. Because normally, that was supposed to be fair caught. But he catches it, bounces off a defender like a pinball, gets up the field, and you knew once he turned on, I told y'all, don't worry about that 4.5 40 he ran at the combine. Don't worry about that. That is not that man's true speed, and you know it. You know this, man. You know he runs faster than that, and he showed you. He pulled out a little bit of that blazer, put it on, shoom, back into the end zone. Now look, the Chiefs are going to need every single bit of help they can get this year, because I just don't know about this team. But damn it, if D'Anthony Thomas is going to pick up where Dexter McCluster left off, this Chiefs team might still be in a good position. And so, Black Mamba, D'Anthony Thomas, give me some, man. Give me some. That was some big-time returnmanship, my man. And not only did you do that, you caught the football out of the backfield and you ran it a little bit. I don't know what Andy's going to do with you, but it's going to be damn fun to watch. D'Anthony Thomas, that's what's up. You move on to the Dolphins' first-team offense. A couple of teams and their first-team offenses are next up on the list. And they came from the same game. But we're going to start with the Miami Dolphins offense because they got the ball first in that game and they set the tone. Boy, I tell you what, Bill Lazor in that offense looked really sharp, man. He came out, and I talked about this in the Dolphins lab reports. I said laser-like focus on offense. Well, that offense looked pretty damn sharp and focused to me. They were moving around. They moved Tannehill out of the pocket. He was perfect on that drive. They actually ran the ball. The running game didn't look that bad with Lamar Miller. I thought that they went out and they executed. Of any first-team offense, they went out and executed their offense the best out of any team I saw in preseason week number 1. Now, again, it's just the first week of preseason, folks. That's it. But, hey, impressive is impressive. And God damn it, that was the cleanest, most efficient drive I saw all weekend from any team. Didn't matter. Dolphins first team offense. God damn, that was sharp. That was impressive. That was a thing of beauty. That was some laser-like focus. You get a nice hard dap from me. That's what's up. You look at the Atlanta Falcons first team offense. They played in that same game. After watching what the Dolphins did, and it was quick, it was effortless, it was painless. They put those boys to sleep and got out of the game. So then the Falcons, having watched what the Dolphins did on offense, Matt Ryan comes in the game and they put together an 18-play drive. So they put together the anti-Miami Dolphins drive. Miami's drive might have been 8 plays. Bing, bang, boom. Good night. Thank you for coming. Drive safely. The first unit was done. And they were in the end zone. Falcons, they went the long way. They wanted to pick up penalties and they wanted to do things the hard way. They wanted to make it tough on themselves. But when it was all said and done, despite all the penalties, despite all of the third down conversions, despite them having to do it the hard way, they got in the end zone. And so because of their persistence, now I was going to just pat them on the back at first because they had too many penalties on that drive. However, because of the persistence, because they were able to battle through those penalties and somehow managed to put together an 18-play drive, and get in the end zone, cap it off with a touchdown, I'm going to dap you up, Atlanta, because that's what's up. You're going to have to play big boy football offensively this year for your team to get back the way you want to go. That's a great start. That's what I'm talking about, Atlanta. That's what I'm talking about. You go on to the Arizona Cardinals. Why y'all had to do those boys like that, man? It's preseason week number 1. Stop your nonsense, Arizona. Stop your nonsense, okay? I told the Texans that they were going to be bad this year. You don't need to scare them like that in preseason week number 1. Now, granted, no Dre, no Arian Foster, so they didn't have a full deck of cards. It doesn't matter. You didn't need to do those boys like that. A shutout? Come on, man. You couldn't even let them score a field goal? That's how you doing it? That's heartless, man. And I love it. Give me some, Arizona, putting them boys out of their mercy in week number 1 of the preseason. How dare you? That was so dick, dirty, dastardly. You nasty Arizona Cardinals. Give me some, man. And the Washington Redskins, got to give my boys some love. What they showed me in preseason week number 1. First of all, they played against a lifeless New England Patriots football team that was very disinterested. They didn't want to play that game. They had practice on Tuesday of a week where they had a Thursday preseason game against the same team. We had practiced against them all week long. They didn't want to play football. They showed up in body, in mind, but the spirit was gone. They didn't want to play that game. They just showed up on the field. And so, hey, if they want to show up and get their ass kicked, then why not oblige? That's what we did. So the thing that was impressive about the Redskins is the depth. From guy number 1 to guy number 90 on the roster, everybody performed at an extremely high level, ran the football down their throats. It was a very, very solid performance for a team that's looking to get back to a respectable level in their division. And so I think the Redskins deserves a nice solid dap from me in week 1 of the preseason. Now we go on to the smacks. And I'm ready. I told you, the hand is strong. It's tingling. I'm ready to go. So we start at the top with Ryan Mallett. Wow. I talked about the Redskins coming out and dominating against the Patriots. And this is your audition, my man. Do you want to start in this league? I'm not sure that you do. Because that nonsense that you put forth against the Redskins, that was despicable. That was trash. Okay, you skipping balls, you're not stepping up in the pocket and getting your arm into it. There were some plays you made. You got out of the pocket, threw some darts. There were penalties that brought it back. You were in some tough spots early on in that game, but you had a chance to settle down and make some throws and make some plays, and you didn't. And so I don't know if you really want to start or not, because this is your last chance. If you don't ball out in this preseason, and you got 3 weeks to prove that you deserve to start somewhere down the road. If you don't prove it this year, you're going to be a career backup quarterback. I'm not saying, I'm just saying, you look mighty, mighty filthy out there. And not in a good way. Ryan Mallett, come here. Come here. Man, you got to play better. That was garbage. Hot garbage. Get out of my face. You go on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive line. Oh my gosh. Oh my stars. They were horrendous. Man, did I have fun watching the Jaguars disassemble that trash that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers put out there in front of Josh McCown or what? And I talked to some Buc fans and they were pretty harsh on Josh McCown. And I said, why are you talking to Josh? Josh did nothing wrong. All he did was show up to a party that he was uninvited to. And it's almost like he pissed off the entire offensive line simultaneously because none of them blocked for him. It was bad, man. Dotson got beat. Jamon Meredith, oh my goodness. He got torched. He got baptized. Man. I swear he must have dipped his head into some water 3 or 4 times because he was all over the damn place. Anthony Collins got beat. You went out and gave him money. Y'all let go of guards, Davin Joseph, and all kinds of guys like you had it like that. Man, this line is terrible. Terrible. This offensive line was a mess in that game. They were an atrocity. And Josh Cal ended up throwing a pick six. He ended up fumbling twice. He ended up getting sacked like 3 times. He was hurried numerous other times. And this was only in a quarter and a half of work. This was pathetic. This offensive line was so bad that they started benching folks right after the game. I'm talking about on the team bus. They started benching folks. And they already have started putting out little feelers to see if they can get their hands on holdout offensive linemen from the San Francisco 49ers, Alex Boone. That's how bad it is in Tampa Bay right now. For all of the good you did in the offseason, this offensive line can single-handedly bring this football team crippling down to their knees. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, give me smack the hell out of you. That was terrible. That offensive line needs to get it together. Either you straighten up or you ship your stinking ass out of there. God damn it, that was pathetic. You move on to the next smack. And the one thing I hate the most about preseason football are those damned biased announcers. I know you've seen them. I know you've heard them. Now, everybody is going to have a complimentary ex-player in the booth. I know that. I understand that. I don't have a problem with that. That's not the guy that I got a gripe with because they don't know any better. It's the other guy sitting next to him that needs to keep him in check that I have a problem with. Now, the good ones, the teams that actually have real announcers employed, guys that we trust and know, they're fine. You know, there are a slew of teams like the Giants have Bob Papa doing their games. So, you know you're going to get some quality announcing in that game. And there are other teams around the league. Paul Burmeister does the Chiefs games. So there's guys that you trust. You know you're going to get a solid product from them, and you don't have to worry. But then there's those teams that they put some goons in the announcing booth, and it's two biased guys, an ex-player, which you know they're always going to be on the side of the team that they're talking about, and then the other guy needs to keep him in check. And when you get two clowns together and they can't stop drooling over the team that they're announcing over, then you get a problem. And I watched 2 games in particular, and I was ready to snap. Okay? One was the Jacksonville-Tampa Bay game. Okay, you got 2 Jacksonville Jaguar announcers, and they're not even giving me names. They're not giving me numbers. They're not giving me anything from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You would have thought that this was an inter-squad scrimmage or something because all they were talking about were the damn Jaguars. The first play of the game, Gerald McCoy jumps out like 5 yards into the backfield and tackles Jordan Todman for like a 5-yard loss. Do you think they say that Gerald McCoy knifed in the backfield and made a play? Did they even tell me that he made the tackle? I had to guess who it was making the tackle. That's pathetic. Don't put these garbage announcers on the airwaves if they can't, for 2 seconds, be unbiased, to be impartial. And then the Minnesota Vikings game with the Oakland Raiders. Pathetic. Just 2 guys up there drooling over the Minnesota Vikings, talking about their training camp and how hard this guy's work. Can you give me what's going on the damn field? The Raiders make a play, and I can't even get a name out of you. Something. Anything. Damn. You still talking about something that happened from training camp 2 years ago. I don't give a damn about that. Let me talk about the game. Let me hear about these players on the field. And from both teams, please. Biased announcers. Let me double smack for both of y'all, especially the one that knows better. The player, you know he's going to be biased, but that other guy that's a trained professional, how dare you let the other guy and yourself not talk about what's going on the field and the players from both teams. How dare you? I'm smack y'all again, man. Got me listening to this nonsense in preseason, man. We go on to the next guy to smack around, Nicholas Foles. What a terrible performance by, and look, I know it's preseason number 1. It's preseason game number 1. I'm not going to go overboard here, but I just want to say this. You threw 2 interceptions all of last year. You threw 2 interceptions in preseason game number 1. Maybe you're getting them all out of your system in the preseason and then you're just going to go back to slicing cats in the regular season. I don't know. But I already told anybody that would listen, there's no way Nicholas Foles can follow up on what he did a season ago. Now, I'm not saying that he's got to be 27-2. I mean, he's not doing that again. We know that. But I think he could easily be one of these guys that stinks it up this year. Because if you get pressure on him, we got all the film that we could ask for of this Chip Kelly offense. I don't know. and maybe they're kind of getting their feet wet. You got guys that haven't been here before, that wasn't in this offense a season ago. Maybe they got to get some things ironed out. Maybe he's waiting to the regular season to unleash some things. I don't know. All I know is Nicholas Foles threw it away to the wrong team twice. And for that, you get smacked. You go on to Jason Campbell, my man, the caretaker Campbell. And it's crazy because I call him the caretaker Campbell for a reason. That's because he takes care of the football. He didn't take risk. He didn't do a lot of things that you would normally like to see your quarterback do, which is push the ball down the field, try to make some things happen. He's more along the lines of a guy that doesn't want to make a mistake. And a lot of times he's a coach's best friend because he'd much rather check it down on 3rd and 7 for a 4-yard gain and throw it into tight coverage and possibly get picked off. He'd much rather send a punter out there to punt the football and give the defense a chance to play. And there's nothing wrong with that. But at some point, you got to take some risk. But the Jason Campbell that I saw in preseason game number 1, not only was he taking risk, but he was throwing a football to the wrong color jersey. How do you throw not 1, but 2 pick sixes? Whoa. That is so un-Jason Campbell. Like, I don't even know who that guy was. Okay? And yes, it's a preseason game. And yes, I understand that you're in a new environment. You want to come out, kind of feel yourself out and see what's going on, find out who can play ball, who can't, try to deliver the football to everybody. However, I don't know this guy. He's a stranger to me. This guy threw 2 pick sixes to the Kansas City Chiefs. Who is this masked man? It's not the caretaker Campbell. All I know is 2 pick sixes is 14 points. Who gives up 41 points in a preseason game anyway? The Cincinnati Bengals do, because of Jason Campbell throwing 2 pick sixes and them giving up a touchdown on special teams. Jason, let me smack the hell out of you for that, man. Get it together. They brought you to be a backup to Andy Dalton, to not throw the football game away, to come in, manage the game, keep the ship afloat in case of an emergency if Andy were to go down. You came in and you started rocking the boat, my man. You need to calm down and go back to being the J-Cam that I know. That guy that I saw on Saturday, man, he was a risk taker. He was a pick maker. I don't like that guy. Bring me the old J-Cam back. And last but not least, the Houston Texans. My, oh my, was that a pitiful performance or what? Now, I will say this. No Arian Foster, no one and only DRE. Things can happen. But no points at all? What that? I told you this is a team with a lot of elite level talent. I just talked about Dre. Know about Arian Foster, Dwayne Brown, Cushing, Clowney, Watt. J.J. Watt had a sack like on the second play of the game. I mean, we know about this elite level talent on this football team. But I question the depth behind those guys. And it showed. When you don't score any points in a preseason game, and I don't care if it's preseason game number 1 or number 4, what that speaks to is depth. The inability to beat another team's 2s and 3s. Your 2s and 3s aren't better than the Arizona Cardinals' 2s and 3s. That's what that basically said to me. It doesn't matter that your 1s didn't score. Your 2s and 3s should have been able to do something at some point. You're playing against guys, a lot of these guys won't even be on this Arizona Cardinals roster. A lot of these guys won't even be in this league, and you couldn't score 3 points? Shameful. Shameful. Shame on you, Houston. You had this whole fan base very sullen, and you had this big dark cloud over them for a whole entire week. I'm here to tell you, Texans fans, don't worry. It won't be that bad. It's going to be bad this year. I already warned you, okay? But it won't be that bad. But because the Texans scared the living daylights out of you in preseason game number 1, let me go ahead and smack them for you, man. That was pathetic. Y'all going to have to play better than that. And I expect you to, because I think Arian Foster and the one and only DRE is going to suit up and play for you. And they're going to make a world of difference in week number 2 of the preseason. So that's it for this Beautiful program. I thank you for joining me. Come back next week. We'll do it again as we break down the preseason week by week here on Pats, Daps, and Smack. Like the content? Want more? Sub up.